Bueno. All right. So what we need to do now, okay, so we already wrote down our standards. We know what we're learning, so we're moving into input. So go ahead and write L/D. That's going to stand for language of the discipline. And then draw your lips. Sorry, it's going to buzz, but you won't hear my voice on the recording if I don't turn that on. Okay? All right, here we go. Language of the discipline words. I'm going to use some colors so you guys can see. First word, identity, property of addition. Identity, property of addition. What does that mean? It's basically for every real number, which we're going to call n plus 0 equals n, and 0 plus n equals n. Meaning that the property of addition, it doesn't matter what order you put it in, it's still addition. You're still going to come up with the same thing. Whether it's 0 plus n, it will still be n. Or if it's n plus 0. First word. Next word is the additive inverse. The additive inverse. That basically just means the opposite number. The opposite number. So I'm going to go ahead and give you an example, EX example. -5 plus 5 will equal 0. A number and its opposite will equal 0. Or 4 plus that -4, remember they don't like each other, so it turns into a subtraction. That'll also be 0. So if you add a number's opposite, it's 0. That's the additive inverse property. And we'll have one more word for today, and that is the inverse property of addition. Kind of sounds like the identity property of addition, so you have to be careful. It's the inverse property of addition. Definition states, for every real number, which we call n, there is an additive inverse. Which we'll call negative. For every real number, there is an additive inverse. That means there's an opposite. For example, n plus -n is 0. When you have written all 3 down, go ahead and put your pencil high in the sky. Thank you, books. Thank you, London. Thank you, Robbie and Karen, Elizabeth and Al. Take your time, it's not a rush. You get all the information down. Your brain registers too if you write it all down. More people write, that's okay. Thank you for being patient. Let's go to pencil up. Looks like we're good. Awesome blossom. All right. So now we're going to move to modeling. So this is how I show you how to solve the problem. Usually in input I will give you steps to solve the problem, but because there are properties, there are different ways you can do it. So if I write steps, it'll be confusing. So I'm just going to narrow it down by property, what we need to use, okay? First model of the square. Number 7. Who uses 6? Woo! Everyone give them a hand. All right, model. Come up and use those sunglasses. And oh no, just wait. We also watch it. All right. On the count of 3, we're all gonna yell modeling. 1, 2, 3. Modeling. Model class. Oh yeah. Strike a pose. Woo! I like it. Thank you very much. See? Makes it a little fun, right? Thank you so much, Mr. Clark. Best model so far. Even though we're only in the first week of school. All right, here we go. Thank you very much. So let's talk about the number line model. This is one method you can use. The number line model. I personally think this takes a lot of time to draw out. But if it's your preference and you're spatial or you're very logical and you want to see the sequencing, by all means, use this method. So your directions will state, simplify each expression. Simplify each expression. Those are your directions. Let me grab a different color. Number 1. It might say, something easy. We'll start off slow. 2 plus 6. I know, you can do mental math and do that in your head. But the point of this is to show you the number line model. So what you would do is, I'm going to write my steps on the right-hand side. Step 1 for this area, draw a number line. Step 1, draw a number line. Now, it doesn't mean you have to draw it all the way to 20. You want to be around the numbers that are in the problem. So I'm going to go about to 9, okay? So I'm going to start my number line. You would use a ruler to make it straight. Now go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe go to 10, whatever you'd like. Draw a number line. Step 2. You would start or begin at the first number in your problem. Start at the first number. So I'd say, okay. The first number is 2. So I'm going to draw a line here at 2. I know, this is simple, I'm killing it, but we have to do it. So it's a method. Step 3, move the units, the amount of the second number in your problem. So I'm looking, okay, it says addition, so that means I'm going to go to the right. And I'm going to go 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to get here. So I moved 6 units. So I know that 2 plus 6 will equal 8. My last step will always be, and I'm not going to always write this down at the beginning of the school year, just to remind you, please box your answer. It's easier for you to see, it's easy for me to see, and we'll all be happy campers. Right? I know you can do 2 plus 6 in your head. Okay? But it's just showing you. You can use a number line. There's a visual in the front of the classroom if you need to count to visually see. When you have those steps and everything written down, take your time, put your pencil in the air. Now you want to make sure you write the steps in your notes because when you get home, Like, what did Miss Graham say? It's in your notes. It's like me talking to you on paper, right? Okay. Here we go with number 2. 2 plus negative 6. 2 plus negative 6. So my step 1 is what? Draw a number line. Okay, so I know that I'm going to draw my number line again. I'm going to give it a little more space this time. I'm going to go here and start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I might want to go to the negatives also. My bad. Scratch that in my notes. That's what notes are for. I'm going to start with negatives. Here we go. I'm going to go with negative 8. Then I'm going to go negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, 0, 2, 4, 6. So think before you draw. That. Okay, so step 1, look at the first number. 2, start there. Here I am at 2. Now I'm going to add a negative. So am I going to go to the right 6 or to the left 6? If I'm going negative. Left, right? Remember I said, oh, he really likes her, but does she like him? No, we're going negative, we're going left. We're going to go left 6 times. 2, 4, 6. So I know that 2 plus negative 6 equals negative 4. Oops. Or you can use the same signs add and keep method, but it's just the number line method. Put your hands on your head if that's super easy, you get it. You know how to add and subtract integers. Awesome. We reviewed that last night. All right, well, then we can move on to absolute value. That's the other method. Absolute value. And remember, just to give you a little memory, put a little star there. It's the amount of spaces from 0. Put that little reminder there for you. Will absolute value ever be negative? No. Nope. Give yourself that reminder. It's always positive. So then, here's the question. I want the absolute value of 5 minus 11. Now, you reviewed yesterday the order of operations. You have to work with what's within inside first. So, what is 5 minus 11? Same signs add and keep, different signs subtract. So I'm just going to subtract 11 from 6, or from 5, and I get negative 6. It's still in the absolute value range. I'm just working with what's inside first. So then, how many spaces is negative 6 from 0? 6 spaces. So that's your answer. Very simple. So let's go back and write the steps. Step 1, solve inside. And step 2, find the absolute value. Very easy. left. We have one more example, and then we can already check for understanding. See? Simple. Golden. You guys are awesome. Last example. Using absolute value. The absolute value of negative 10 minus negative 4. Negative 10 minus negative 4. So going back to step 1, we have to solve what's inside the parentheses. So, the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite it. Negative 10. Oh, there's two negatives next to each other. That means they like each other. They're so happy and positive. So that becomes a plus 4. So I took that step. Now I'm good. I can see the operation. Same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. These are different signs, so I subtract. And I keep the sign of the higher number, so it's going to be a negative. 10 minus 4 is 6. So then I think, how many spaces from 0 is negative 6? Oh, 6. Super simple. You can go ahead and stop that, Alex.